Now we are in linear programming. There is only the two chapters pending. One is linear programming, another is business forecasting models. Now these two are important as compared to linear and business forecasting model. Business forecasting model is a more important than this linear programming. There may be a there may be or may not problem will come from linear programming, but whereas from business forecasting models compulsory there will be a question for 7 marks. That too easy problem. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of linear programming? Now, it is a technique which is used for the effective utilization of constrained resources. Constrained resources means the resources which are available scarcity. Now, limited available. Sir, now what is the meaning of linear means relation. Relation. Now, the programming means step by step procedure to be followed to solve the problem. Now, application of linear programming. Sir, in which type of industries this linear programming is used means agricultural industries, manufacturing industries, shipping industries, banking industries, transportation industries, telecom industries, now, etc. Now, these are the applications. Please note down this example. Only 1 week is available for SCM. Yes. ఏం ఉదయం నవ్వుతున్నా నేను రానుగానే వచ్చిన హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ లేటేగానే ఓన్లీ ద only 1 week is available for SCM. I means within one week DT will start. If time is not sufficient to complete the SCM syllabus, I will take 1 hour daily after DT. Okay. Now I think there is a more pending syllabus in other chapters also. Other subjects. Sunday class is not possible. Not at all possible. Please. No, no. Sunday is not at all possible. Enter. Now, stop talking. Stop talking. Madam, class lo unandi, please. Now, completed. Can I start? Now see here, there is a company A Limited produces two products, X and Y. The contribution per unit from X is 20 rupees, Y 15 rupees. Raw material available within the company is only the 2 kgs and Y only, 20 kgs. Raw material required for the 1 unit is 2 kgs and Y 1 kg. Now total labor hours available 30 hours. Now labor hours required to produce X is 1 hour and Y 2 hours. Now tell me now how many units the organization want to produce and X and Y in order to get maximum benefit, maximum profit. Now find out the calculate number of units produced of product X and Y. By using linear programming. Previously, in old syllabus, this chapter is very, very easy. In new syllabus, this chapter is very, very lengthy and difficult. Sir, is there any additions? Is there? Yes. There's a new 2 methods are added in new syllabus. Now, can I start? Now, everybody stop writing. See the board. In order to solve linear programming model, in order to solve linear programming problem, we have to prepare 3 set of equations. How many set of equations? 3 set of equations. First set is objective function. What is the first set of equation? And second set of equation is constraint function. What is the second set? Constraint function. We call it as resource function also. Resource function. And third one is non-negativity equation. We call it as non-negativity function. What is the third set of equation? What is the first set of equation? Second set? Third set? Sir, in each and every problem, we have to specify these 3 set of equations. What is the first set of equation? Objective function. What is second set? What is the third set? Now, let us discuss about this objective function. Sir, objective function is specified with Z. We denotes with Z. What is the name of objective function? Z. Generally, any business organization have 2 objectives. Either maybe increase the profit or sales. Maybe increase the profit or sales. Now I call it as maximization. Any organization having the 2 objectives, either maximization or minimization. Now, what is the meaning of maximization? Means increase the profit or increase the sales. What is the meaning of the minimization? Means decrease the cost or time. Now, what is the first set of equation? Objective function. We denotes with Z. Now, any organization having 2 objectives, either may be a maximization or minimization. Maximization means increase the profit or sale. Minimization means decrease the cost or time. Now, you have to identify the objective of the organization by reading the problem. Now, what is the objective of organization? If problem is given the profits in the problem, examiner mentioned the profits in the question, then the objective is maximization. Now it is related to only the cost. Then what is the objective? Now, if it is related to the time, okay. Now, here what is the objective here? What is the objective? Maximization. Now my objective is to enhance how many units can I produce X and Y in order to increase my contribution. Yes or no? Now we call it as maximize. Here the objective is find out the number of units produced to enhance the contribution. Now here I call it as maximization. Z is equal to, now I'm writing the first set of equation. Okay. Now tell me, now in this example, do you know how many units of X produce? No, that is only the requirement, sir. Now let us assume number of units produced X product is small a. How much? Small a. Let us assume number of units produced Y is small b. How many units? X. A units. How many units? B. B units. Now, sorry, Y, how many units? B units. X, A units. Let us assume number of units produced X, how much? A. Now, for each unit, how much of the profit you are getting? How many units you are producing? A. Now, what is the total profit from X? 20 A. Now, the Z is equal to 20 A. Sorry, 20 A plus 20A plus how much of the profit you are getting from Y per unit? 15. How many units you are producing? Y. B. Now that is 15 B. This is the objective function. For this you will get 2 marks. Okay. Now can I move to the next? Now the maximization, objective function is completed. Now objective function is completed. Now I'm entering into the second set of equations. What is second set of equation? Constraint function. This is the main important. Constraint function, or another name is resource function. Now here, how many resources are constrained? What are they? Raw material, labor. Now here two equations will come. How many equations will come? 2. Why? What is the another name of this constraint function? Resource function. Resource function means how many resources, constrained resources are there. Sir, here 2 resources are constrained. One is the raw material, which is available only the 20 kgs, and another is labor, which is available only 30 hours. Now here these 2 resources are constrained, so 2 equations will come under this function. Now what is the first one? Now the first one is related to material. Now come to here. Wait. What is the meaning of this 2 kgs? Sir, in order to produce X unit, how much of the kgs will require? 2 kgs. Now tell me now how many units you are producing? A. Now 2A. Ramba variety gunda indi. Variety chustuna. Now 2A plus, in order to produce Y, how much of the raw material will require? 1 kg. How many units you are producing? B. That means 2A plus 1B. Now tell me now, how much of the raw material available in the stores? More than that 20 kgs is available. Sir, if I want to use the raw material, maximum possible is how much? Only the 20 kgs. More than 20 kgs is possible? Sir, no sir, the available in the stores is only the 20 kgs. Yes or no? Now here, less than or equal to 20 kgs. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sir, why I'm using the less than here? Sir, here the raw material available in the store is only the 20 kgs. If I want to use the raw material, maximum up to 20 kgs is possible. Can I use 19 kgs? Yes. Yes. Why? Here the maximum available is a 20. Can I use 10 kgs? Yes. Can I use 25 kgs? Why? Maximum available is only the 20 kgs. Yes or no? Now, this is equation regarding the constraint. Okay. Now, next. Now, this chapter is nothing new for you. It is already covered in not CMA enter in 6th class. Equations chapter is there. Serious. సిక్స్త్ క్లాస్లో ఈక్వేషన్స్ అనే ఒక చాప్టర్ వస్తుంది, కానీ అక్కడ ఎందుకు ఫామ్ చేస్తున్నావో తెలియదు, అక్కడ ఎందుకు గ్రాఫులు గీస్తున్నావో తెలియదు. అవునా కాదా? అక్కడ మార్కుల కోసం నేర్చుకునే వాళ్ళం. సిక్స్త్, ఎయిత్, నైన్త్, ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్. In intermediate first year there is a chapter linear equations 1a, sorry 1b in 1a trigonometry. Now come back please. Now see here 2. అరే నేనేం చెప్పట్లేదురా బైపీసీ సార్, నేను చెప్పట్లా. కానీ ఏంటంటే మన చిన్నప్పుడు మన ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ ఎలా ఉండేదంటే అక్కడ ఎందుకు నేర్చుకుంటున్నావో తెలియదు, అక్కడ ఎందుకు గ్రాఫ్లు గీస్తున్నావో తెలియదు. క్వశ్చన్ అడగాలంటే భయం. ఫ్యాకల్టీని సార్ ఎందుకు గీస్తున్నాను సార్ ఈ గ్రాఫ్ చెప్పండి సార్ అడగాలంటే భయం. 8 మార్కులు వస్తే గీరా అంటాడు ఫ్యాకల్టీ, అంతేగా చేసేది. 8 మార్కులు వస్తే గీ అనగానే 8 మార్కుల కోసం గీసేవాళ్ళం, కానీ ఆ పర్పస్ ఏంటో తెలియదు. Now come to here. This is the first equation regarding the raw material. Now there is a second resource which is also constraint. What is the second resource? Labor. Sir, in order to produce X, how many hours you'll require? How many units of X you produce? A. 1 hour into A. Total hours. 1A plus how many hours? 2B. Now tell me now how many hours are available? More than that available? No. So less than or equal to 30 hours. This is second equation. Now completed. Linear programming is total this one only. Now there is a third set of equation is there. Non-negativity function. Non-negativity function means, sir, if I want to interest to produce A, then I will produce. I mean product X, I will produce. Is there any chances of negative production? Is there any chance of negative production? Sir, నేను ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తే చేస్తా, లేకపోతే చేయను, అంతేగా నెగిటివ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ పాసిబులా? సార్, హౌ మెనీ యూనిట్స్ యు ఆర్ ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ ప్రొడక్ట్ ఎక్స్? ఏ. ఆర్ అదర్వైజ్ ఐ విల్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ 0. బట్ లెస్ దెన్ 0 ఈజ్ పాసిబుల్, నెగిటివ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ ఈజ్ పాసిబుల్. నౌ దట్ ఈస్, నువ్వు డౌట్ అడిగి నీ పని చెప్తా ఈరోజు. ప్రాబ్లం వెనక నవ్వుతూ కూర్చోను చెప్తున్నా. Now the non-negativity function is A comma B greater than or equal to 0. If you want to produce, then produce, that is equal to greater than. If you want not produce, then it is equal to 0. But less than negativity production is possible? No. No produce cheyalega machine ni tirigi istunda? Is it possible? No. So this is the non-negativity function. Now in each and every problem this equation is the common. Non-negativity equation is common. Now here these two equations will change. Okay. Now sir, how can I solve these two equations? Now previously in old syllabus and our examination area is also up to here only, but in study material there is another problem is added. Now sir, how can we solve these equations? Now here the two methods are there to solve this equation. One is simplex method. What is the method? In order to solve these equations, to find out A and B, we have the two methods are there. The first method is simplex method and second one is graphical method. What is the first method? Now the name is only the simple, but it is the tough. Now in entire costing, I am repeating, in entire SEM and OM, only the toughest model is simplex method. Sir, why it is so much of lengthy? ఎంత లెంది అంటే చెప్పడానికి నాకే చిరాకు వచ్చింది, 2-3 రోజులు చెప్పాల్సి వస్తుంది. Now next one is graphical method. And what is the next one? Graphical. Now in previously in CA examination these two methods are frequently tested, but till now in CMA final up to now they never tested these two methods. In these two methods the graphical method is very very easy, and simplex method it will take more than 1 hour to solve this problem. Now in examination if simplex problem will come means, then definitely you will take as choice. My suggestion is please take as choice, otherwise you will take 1 hour time to solve this problem. In that 1 hour, if you allocate 1 hour for 6 marks or 8 marks, then what about remaining 2 hours? When you solve the MCQs, generally for that purpose only in examination they never tested this simplex method. Okay. Now, how many set of equations will come? What are the three set of equations? Objective function, constraint function, non-negative function. Now, objective function, either two types of functions are there. One is maximization or minimization. Maximization or minimization, the objective function denotes with Z. Okay. Now, if it is maximization, then objective function is maximization of Z is equal to. If it is minimization, then objective function is minimization of Z is equal to. Okay. Up to here, clear. Now, what is the second set of equation? Constraint. How many equations will come? No. How many resources are there? Based on that resources, the equations will come. If 3 resources means, 4 resources means, 5 conditions means, here I constraint means condition. Constraint means condition. Sir, when I will use less than or when I will use greater than means it is depend upon the question. Okay. But my sincere suggestion is don't by heart the less than means greater than, less than means yes, less than symbol, more than means greater than symbol, minimum means less than symbol. Don't remember that type of quotes. Okay. Please go through your conceptual knowledge only. Now, can I move to the next problem? Anamma. ఈడేంద్రా ఈడు ఓవర్గా రియాక్ట్ అవుతున్నాడు. ఎందుకు ఆ రకంగా అవుతున్నా ఏరా? ఈడే ఎఫెక్టా? Now can I move? Please read the CRT5. Okay. Sir, student mic. ఓకే. ఉందిలేండి.
CRD5. The products P, Q, and R are being produced in a plant having profit margin as rupees 3, 5, and rupees 4 respectively.
Now, here the company producing 3 products. What are the names of 3 products? P, Q, R. These are the final finished products. P, Q, R. The profit from the P is 3 rupees. Profit from the Q is 5 rupees. Profit from the R is 4 rupees. Continue. The raw material of A, B, and C are of scarce supply. That means here the 3 raw materials required for the manufacturing of P, Q, R. Now here the raw material A is one of the raw material, B, C. These 3 raw materials are scarce supply. Then tell me now how many equations will come? Which equations? Constraint equations, resource equation. Now, the availability is limited 8, 15, and 10 respectively. That means A raw material is available only 8 units. B is available 15 units. C is available 10 units. Specific consumption is indicated in the table below. That means, what is the meaning of that means? Now, in order to produce P product, raw material A will require 2 kgs. How much? 2 kgs. Q will require 3 kgs. R not required. Now the total available is 8. In order to produce PQR, B will require 3 kgs, 2 kgs, 4 kgs. The total availability is 15. C for manufacturing Q, 2, R, 5, availability is 10. Now,
Write down the problem mathematically for maximization of profit margin.
write down the problem mathematically. That means form the equations only for maximization of profit. Profit margin. Yeah, please read. Try to solve this question. Malik, what is your discussion? Discussing about the answer? Tell me now, what is your doubt? CMA ఇంటర్లో స్టూడెంట్ ఉంటాడు, వాడు డౌట్ అడుగుతున్న నాకు చాలా కోపం వస్తుంది, కానీ స్టూడెంట్ కాబట్టి కంట్రోల్లో ఉంటా. వాడు అడిగింది ప్లేసర్ సప్లై ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ అంటున్నారు, అంటే సేల్. మరి పర్చేజ్ని సప్లై ఆఫ్ డిమాండ్ అనాలా అన్నాడు. ఇంక నాకు అసలు ఏం మాట్లాడతాడు. సరే ఓకే సార్, యూనియన్ మినిస్టర్ని ఎందుకు అనాలి, సెంట్రల్ మినిస్టర్ అని అడిగాడు. అసలు నాకు వాడిని ఏం చేయాలో కూడా అర్థం కావట్లా. నీకు కూడా అలాంటి డౌట్స్ ఉంటే చెప్పు. మరి ముగ్గురిని వేసుకొని ఎందుకు డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నావు? డౌట్ అని చెప్పావుగా, నాకు డౌట్ అని చెప్పావుగా, చెప్పు. ఏ ఈక్వేషన్? సీఎం ఇంటర్ క్వాలిఫై అయ్యావా? ఏ అటెంప్ట్ క్వాలిఫై అయ్యావు? ఏ అటెంప్ట్? ఇయర్? January? Year? January 22. I will show this problem in that attempt. వాడికి ఏ అటెంప్ట్ వాడికి తెలియట్లా, ఓల్డ్ అండ్ న్యూగా కూడా తెలియట్లా. Now can I start? Now this is previous examination question. Now everybody please. Sir, here what are the finished products? P, Q, R. ABC is my raw material. Let us assume number of units produced P is X units. How many units? P is equal to X units. Q is equal to Y units. R is equal to Z units. Now everybody tell me now how many set of equations will come? 3 set of equations. What is the first set of equation? Everybody, objective function. Now what is the objective function here? Maximization of profit margin, that is equal to maximum Z. Maximization of Z is equal to, sir wait, what is the profit you earn from the P? 3. How many units you are producing? X. Then the total profit from P is how much? 3x plus how much of the profit you will get from the Q? 5. How many units you are producing? Y. Total profit is, now how many units you are producing? R. Z. From each unit 4. Now what is the total contribution? 4Z. Now this is the objective function. Anybody have any doubt? Malik, what is your doubt? వాడేదో సినిమా గురించి సొల్లు చెప్తా సార్, డౌట్ సార్ సబ్జెక్ట్లో సార్ అంట. Now this is the objective function, but subject to 2. Now what is the second set of equations? How many resources are there? Then tell me now how many equations will come? 3 equations. What is the first equation? Raw material A. Raw material A related to raw material A. In order to prepare P, how many kgs will require? 2 kg. How many units you prepared? X. That is 2x plus 3y. Sir, is there any required for Z? No. Now here how many kgs are available in the stores? 8. More than 8 is available. Can I consume 9 kgs? Only the possible is either you may use 8 or less than 8. Yes or no? Now that is equal to less than or equal to 8. This is my first equation related to raw material A. Can I move to the next? Next. What is the second resource? What is the second resource? B. In order to produce P, how many kgs will require? 3 kgs. How many units you are preparing? X. 3x. 3x plus 2y plus 4z less than or equal to, sir, wait. Now tell me now, raw material B is maximum available how much? 15. Now in examination, if they mention like this, B available, you can use B minimum 15 units. What is the meaning of minimum? Rambabu, from tomorrow onwards, in your pocket minimum 100 rupees you are having. What is the meaning of that? Sir, more than that 100 rupees is good. If you hold less than 100, నాట్ గుడ్. దట్ మీన్స్ రాంబాబు మీరు రేపటి నుంచి మినిమం మీ జేబులో 100 రూపాయలు ఉండాలి అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి? అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ ఉండొచ్చు, అంతకంటే తక్కువ ఉండకూడదు. దట్ మీన్స్ యూ కెన్ యూస్ గ్రేటర్ దాన్. బట్ హియర్ ద రా మెటీరియల్ బి ఈస్ అవైలబుల్ మ్యాక్సిమం 15 యూనిట్స్. మోర్ దాన్ దట్ ఈస్ పాసిబుల్? నో. దెన్ ఐ విల్ యూస్ లెస్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు 15. వాట్ ఈస్ ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్? 2y plus 5z less than or equal to 10. This is relating to the raw material B. This is related to raw material C. Now what is the last set of equation? Non-negativity function. Now how many units you are producing? P, x units, q, y, or z. If we want to produce, otherwise 0. But negative production is possible? No. That means x comma y comma z greater than or equal to 0 but not negativity. I call it as non-negativity function. Now the problem is over. Please try to solve by your own. Please. Next. Please try to solve this examination problem. June 2024. There is a 7 marks question is there from linear programming. Vagdev, please read the question.
FAMC Limited, a manufacturing company, produces 3 products A, B, and C. It uses 2 types of raw materials, 1 and 2, of which 5,000 and 7,500 units respectively are available. The raw material requirement per unit of the products are given below.
Now here the 2 types. Here what are the finished products? A, B and C. A, B, C. These are the finished product. Next.
Raw material 1, requirement for per unit of A, 3 units, B, 4 units, C, 5 units. Raw material 2, requirement per unit of product product A 5 units, B 3 units, C 5 units.
Wait. Now here ABC are the finished product. It uses the two types of raw materials. Raw material type 1A and 1 and type 2. The raw material 1 is available only available is how much? Only 5000 units. And raw material 2 available only 7500 units. Now explain this diagram. Table. What is the meaning of this 3, 4, 5?
Per unit requirement teacher sir. Total raw material usage.
Now in order to manufacture finished product A, raw material 1 will require 3 units, B 4 units, C 5 units. 2, 5, 3, 5. Now two equations will come. Yes or no? How many resources are there here? 2. Up to here we are observing only the two resources. One is raw material 1 and raw material 2. Next, continue.
The labor time for each unit of product A is twice that of product B and 3 times that of product C.
Okay. Now here labor time for each unit of product A is twice the product B and thrice the product C. The entire labor force of the firm can produce equivalent of 3000 units. What do you observe from that? Okay, don't worry. Now here the three products are there. A, B, C. Sir, how much of the time taken for the product A means thrice the C, twice the B. Okay. Now, sir, let us assume X. C is the X hours. Then what about A? 3 hours. Okay. Now, for B, how much? 1.5. Twice the B, thrice the C. Match? Yes or no? But this entire labor force which is equivalent to the only the 3000 units only. They're mentioned, clearly mentioned here. Entire labor force of the firm can produce an equivalent of 3000 units. Next.
The minimum demand of the three products is 600, 650 and 500 units respectively.
Now what is the demand of X? Product A. 600. More than that possible? Then X, product A, let us assume X units product A. X is less than or greater than? Let us assume number of units product X is, product A is X, B is Y and Z. Now tell me the equations for this. Minimum demand is greater than or demand less than? Greater than. X greater than 600, Y greater than 650, Z greater than 500. Next.
Also the ratios of the number of units produced must be equal to 2:3:4.
Now number of units produced in the ratio of 2:3:4. In this ratio only we can produce. Next.
The profit per unit of A, B and C are 50, 50 and 80 respectively.
The profit per unit of A, B, C are 50, 50, 80. Now, for what is the purpose of this profit given here? Objective function. That tell me now objective function. Maximization of Z 50x plus 50y plus 80z. Maximization of Z. Now, read the requirement.
Required. Analyze and formulate the problem as a linear programming model in order to determine the number of units of each product which will maximize the profit.
Okay. Now here they're asking you formulate the linear programming model in order to determine the number of units produced to maximize the profit. How many marks? Now in this equation you may feel only the one equation is in this problem, you may feel only one equation is difficult, that is labor. Okay. Now please try to solve this problem. Speed up. Completed. Now tell me the labor time equation. 1.5x plus 3x plus 1.5y plus z less than or equal to, which is equivalent to 3000 units, right? Yes or no? వస్తుంది 1 minute 1 minute 3000 యూనిట్స్కి మనం ఈ టైం మొత్తం మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ తీసుకోవాలి ఈక్వేషన్. ఓకే, లెస్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు 3000 into what is the time taken for the all these product, 3.5x plus 1.5 plus z. Have to multiply like this. Now both are hours only, right? Sir, per unit is, wait, sir, per unit is how much? 3x plus 1.5 plus z is equal to, I mean, less than or equal to 3000 units. Now this is hours, this is unit. Now we have to convert these units into hours. Sir, this is per unit only, right? Now 3000 into 3x plus 1.5 plus z. You understand? Sir, this is per unit time. Here into units. This is units, this is time. This is only the time. Hours కాదు, units. Units అమ్మా, which is equal to 3000 units. సార్ అక్కడ ఇచ్చింది అవర్స్ అంటున్నారు, కాదు. The entire labor force of the firm can produce equivalent of the 3000 units. If it is hours, then nothing issue here. The simply you can write like this. అర్థమైందా? But it is not hours, it is units. We have to multiply the hours into units for calculation of the total hours. Yes or no? Yes or no? Confuse. No. Simple, leave it, nothing happen. Now అక్కడ ఏమి ఇచ్చాడంటే ఈ 3x అనేది ఏంటి? టైం. 1.5 అనేది పర్ యూనిట్ టైం. జెడ్ అనేది ఏంటి? పర్ యూనిట్ టైం. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చింది ఏంటి? యూనిట్స్. సార్ దిస్ ఈజ్ అవర్స్ సార్, దిస్ ఈజ్ యూనిట్ సార్. డూ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్? ఇప్పుడు యూనిట్స్ని అవర్స్ కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను నేను. నువ్వు ఫస్ట్ ఇక్కడ తీసుకున్న ఈక్వేషన్ చూద్దాము. మనం ఇందాక ఎగ్జాంపుల్లో తీసుకుందాము. ఈ రా మెటీరియల్ ఏంటి? 15 kgs. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో kgs, right? This is hours, this is also hours, this is hours, this is. అప్పుడు ఏం చేద్దాం? కన్వర్ట్ ఇంటూ అవర్స్. సార్ this is per unit time, we have to multiply this. Okay, now another second equation. How many units you are producing? X, how many units you are producing? Less, I mean minimum you have to produce greater than or equal to 600. Y 650. Z 500. Okay, what is the ratio? 2x is to 3y is to 4z. What is the maximization profit? Maximization of profit 50x plus 50y plus 80z. Now raw material constant equation 1, 3x plus 4y plus 5z less than or equal to 5000. Raw material 2, 5x plus 3y plus 5z less than or equal to 7500. Three x plus 4y. Okay, 3x plus 4y. Now, can you move to the next equation? Problem chadavapothe there a problem. Minimum demand of 3 products. Condition subject to constraint. Sir, it is only the objective function is only the one. Okay. Now, objective function is only one. Non-negative function is only the one. Okay. Remaining all are comes under the subject to constraint. Okay. There is only the one objective function. Either may increase the profit or decrease the maximization or minimization. And non-negativity function is only the one. And remaining everything is comes under the subject to constraint. Up to here clear. Now, sir, ఈ పేపర్లో ఫస్ట్ టైం 5 years నుంచి ఫస్ట్ టైం అడిగాడు లాస్ట్ ఇయర్. ఇంతవరకు ఈ చాప్టర్ నుంచి ఎప్పుడు క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగలేదు, ఫస్ట్ టైం అడిగాడు. అయితే ఎంత టఫ్గా ఇచ్చినా సరే అట్లీస్ట్ 7 marksలో 4 marks అయితే వస్తాయి. మేబీ లేబర్ ఒకటి తప్పు చేయొచ్చు, మ్యాక్సిమైజేషన్ కరెక్ట్గా చేస్తారుగా, దట్ విల్ గివ్ 1 mark or 2 marks. అండ్ రా మెటీరియల్ కన్స్ట్రైంట్ కరెక్ట్గా చేస్తారుగా, దట్ ఈస్ ఫర్ అనదర్ 2 marks. And non-negativity function just only the half mark only. Now there is another equation, x less than greater than or to 600, then there is a 1 mark for that. You may lose 2 marks for labor. Okay.
CRD 6.
Now please.
A bank is in the process of formulating its loan policy involving a maximum of rupees 600 million.
A bank is in the process of formulating its loan policy. Now bank preparing their loan policy involving maximum of 600 million. More than that is possible. Now the bank having only the 600 million.
Table below gives the relevant types of loans. Bad debts are not recoverable and produce no interest received.
Now remember one thing. Here the 5 types of loans are there. One is personal loan, car loan, housing loan, agricultural loan, commercial loan. Now there is a probability of bad debts is also there. From that bad debts we don't have receive any interest also. Okay. Next.
To meet competition from other banks, the following policy guidelines have been set. At least 40% of the funds must be allocated to agriculture and commercial loans.
Now, at least 40% of the funds must be allocated to agricultural and commercial loan. Here, how many types of loans are there? Personal, car, housing. Among all these, 40% of funds must be allocated to agricultural and commercial. Market is important problem. Agricultural and commercial. Next.
Funds allocated to housing must be at least 50% of all loans given to personal, car and housing.
Now, funds allocated to housing. Funds allocated to housing. How much? Funds allocated to housing must be at least 50% of all loans given to personal, car, housing. ఈ మూడిటి కలిపి 50% ఓన్లీ హౌసింగ్ కే ఇవ్వాలి. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, personal, car, housing. Combine all these 3 loans, maximum of 50% of loan amount will given to the which sector? Housing sector. Next.
The overall bad debts on all loans may not exceed 0.06.
Overall bad debts on all loans may not exceed how much? 0.06.
Formulate a linear program model to determine optimal loan allocations.
Formulate the linear programming model to determine the optimal loan allocation. Now, my first and foremost question is, what is the objective function? Maximization or minimization? How you identify that? Minimization, maximization. See here the table. Type of loan, interest rate and bad debts. Now, what is the income for banks? Interest. Now, any bank want to maximize their interest amount or decrease the revenue? Maximize. Now, here the objective is maximization of revenue, that is interest. Please read the question. Vagdev, can I ask one question? What is the revenue from personal? What is the interest rate from interest income from the personal? Zero point. Why you are taking 0.9 here? Now see here. Actually, this problem is in CMA inter level, but there the solution is wrong. Yes. Actually, the interpretation of the problem is only the wrong. Please see here. Now, sir, how much of the loan amount given to personal? Let us assume X1. Okay. How much of the loan given to car? Let us assume X2. Let's assume X3. Agricultural X4. Commercial X5. This is a loan amount. Now, in this loan amount, there is a bad debt is there. How much? 0.910. How much? 0.10. Now tell me now, is there any interest is received on bad debt? No. Then, sir, how do you know, sir? Bad debts are not recoverable and produce no interest. Okay. Now you will receive the interest only on x1 minus 0.10 x1. How much now? 0.9s. This is my principal amount excluding bad debt. Now you will receive the interest on this 0.9x. Yes or no? Yes or no? Next one. What about car 2? I mean car loan X2. How much of the amount you allocated to car? X2. In that X2, how much of the bad debts? 0.07. Now the X2 is equal to X2 minus 0.07. 0.93x2. This is the amount I'm getting the, I'm getting the interest on this amount. Yes or no? How much of the interest here? 14%. But in CMA inter level, you are directing taking the 17%. 17% on the X1. Yes or no? That is wrong. Here the importance of this statement is, please underline this line. Bad debts are not recoverable and produce no interest. Generally what happen means there is another view is also there. Now in interest income, now how much of the X1 here? I mean X1 is the loan amount. How much of the interest you will getting? 17% X1 minus entire this 10% is the loss for us, right? Now they're reducing this entire 10%. Do you understand?